I'm shooting a wine label right now and trying to find the perfect image that says what she's trying to portray in her image and the name of the wine, and that's in French it translates made by hand. And so we had the winemaker pour wine over her two kids' hands. So I think that's the image that we're going to use. Standard transparency, 4 inches. Matrix pattern. It comes from a guy in Australia, and it's a super fine, it's not a dot matrix. So it actually creates little grooves that the ink goes down into. Where it's exposed white, it hardens the plate, and that remains white, and it shows up the finest detail. Any little drawings, even as fine as a human hair, show up on this because the matrix, the grid is so small. We've got the original image. We've got the plate, and you can see very faintly on the plate the image. And I'll wash that out with cold water. Don't want to push the brush, you want to just do it gently. Now you can see the image. Looks pretty good. To get the water off the surface, and you want to use multiple pages because if there's any residual resin, it will stick to the surface of the paper and reapply itself to the plate. So you don't want to have that happen. You want to use a clean sheet every time. That'll gradually harden completely and turn to a nice golden color. Yep. This is a steel back plate. So I put magnetic strips down on my glass and it sticks. And because this is, I want this to be a fairly dark purplish brown because it's going to be a label for a Syrah wine by Rebecca Pittock-Sholtis. So I'm going to have a purple toned brown using purple Charbonnel ink with deep yellow Charbonnel ink. What I'm wiping my plate with, as opposed to the traditional tarlatan, which is a starch cheesecloth, I use organza silk. Alright, now we have our image. Lift up the piece. So you want to wipe the edges of the plate, and you have to be very careful. I use a microfiber cloth doubled over because there's nothing worse than a steel cut if you use a piece of paper or something thin. Paper, get it centered. Paper I've cut for it. Put up the blankets. This press has a great history. It was late 1800s press. It was an old hand crank tie-pie press, and I converted it by putting a Lexan bed on it. It's really nice. All right. Now the moment we've been waiting for. Not bad. Not bad at all.